All right, who am I speaking with?
Hi, I'm Bernard Golden. I'm CEO of HyperStratus. We're a cloud computing consulting firm located here in Silicon Valley.
So you are probably the person that knows the most about cloud that I know, and we were talking earlier about the fact that people are very excited about the promise of cloud, but then they get hung up when it comes to implementation. Tell me what's happening on both ends.
Yeah, that's exactly right. I mean, people are very dissatisfied with the way IT has traditionally been done. It takes a long time to get stuff done. It's extremely expensive. It's hard to respond very quickly to changing business conditions. Those are real problems. So they look at cloud computing and they say, gosh, it's automated, it's really quick to get new resources up, it's very cost effective. What's not to like? Yeah, I want to take advantage of that. The challenge that a lot of our customers, our clients run into is they look at when they go to operationalize it, they say, okay, if I'm looking at public environments, what about security? I keep hearing about that, and how do I determine those kinds of things? What about compliance and risk? Issues like, where am I going to locate the data? You know, can I be sure that it's located in a governmental entity that it needs to be restricted with it? So challenges around that. When they look internally, they sort of say, okay, if I make this change, if I put something in, what should I do? And by the way, this is probably a 10 or 20 year commitment because that's the way software platforms tend to be. So I'm making a big decision. How do I make the right one? And they're just inundated with information, with vendor stuff, and they're just sort of trying to say, how do I sort this out so I make sure I don't make the wrong decision?
What the concern is just how do I make the right decision in an area that I know nothing about, because IT and infrastructure and networking is something they do know about. So is it like I'm playing in a whole new field and I'm making decisions about things I don't know anything about?
I don't think it's so much that I don't know about this domain. It's how do I take care of all the issues I've got to take care of when there are so many choices, when there's so many alternatives. You know, it's a kind of a quirk of human nature that when we get more options to look at, we actually feel less certain and feel more confused and become reluctant to make a decision. And we've seen a lot of that. Companies are sort of saying, how do I make sure I'm making the absolute optimum decision when I've got so many different choices and so many different vendors kind of coming in and talking to me? It's like, how do I know which is the right one?
Well, that's why obviously they hire you. So kind of what do you walk them through to get them to that point where they're comfortable making a decision, putting down money?
Well, what we generally try and do is sort of say, what are the key things that you have to take, that is going to be in your environment, and make sure that that you start filtering the solution set based on that. So, for example, it's a fact of life that every company is going to have a heterogeneous environment. Whether they set out to do that or not, they're going to do that, right? So you need to be sure you have a solution that can encompass heterogeneity, that isn't limited to a single vendor's products or single vendor's solution. So that throws out a bunch right there. So you're essentially sort of running through a set of filter criteria that will guide you toward what your potential choices are. And that's sort of the process we work through with our clients.
Excellent, Bernard. Thanks so much for your time.
Hey, thank you.